just to stand where I stand. Can I get away this? Go on, raise your hands. Say it, raise your hands. Say it, raise your hands. I said you raise your hands. I drove west across Texas with a promise on the line. I'm not in it for the money. I'll get paid in time. I put the tools of my trade into the palm of my hand. I put a cord in it. We see how it lands. And you can call it the tails. You can leave it to chance. Shot brings out in the air. Now you know where I stand. Ah, you know where I stand. Ah, you know where I stand. Ah, you know where I stand. Said hidey, 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 said holy, 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 well, holy, 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 said hidey, 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 hidey. Maybe you lost your loved ones. Maybe you buried a dime. Spend the rest of your life just to see the next bill get paid. Well, it doesn't happen now. It's gonna happen someday. Lord, you can't stop what's coming up. Lord, you can't stop what's coming up. No, you can't stop what's coming up. It's already on its way. 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 It's already on its way.
broken moan, wear the same look on my bones. How much more can one man take till he wears a hole right through his faith? Oh my Lord. Broke open home, ain't no child gets left alone. Took the look from my face, left the color, the creed and race. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, Lord, Lord. He who hears these prayers must keep his word. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, Lord, Lord. He who hears these prayers must keep his word. Ain't no warning, ain't no sound. Took the skin from my fire teeth and exposed the underneath to my Lord. Black water churns, ooh, the fuel that fire burns. Hold a candle to the flame as we kneel and speak his name. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, Lord, Lord. He who hears these prayers must keep his word. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, Lord, Lord. He who hears these prayers must keep his word. Setting sun, going down before the work is done. Shine again tomorrow just the same. Everyone stranded underneath the sun, praying that their prayers ain't being made in vain. Gentlemen, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You can't be here with us, but you're here. And I feel it, and I appreciate it so much. This is the first show that I've gotten to play in about 6, 7, 8 months since February. It's been a long time. I don't know if you know, there's been a pandemic. I hate to be the one who's going to be the bearer of the bad news, but it's been serious, and it's prevented a lot of good things from happening, like shows, live entertainment, And somehow, we're making it happen now, here at beautiful Maple Rock Farms. Now, my goal before the end of the evening is to have someone out there in YouTube land. Maybe you're a young couple. Maybe you've been thinking about taking things to the next level. Perhaps you've already bought the ring. You're going to pop the question, I want you to propose tonight, and I want you to book your wedding here. This show will not end until someone has booked this as their wedding location. Maple Rock Farms, folks, look it up. Also, there is a virtual tip jar. I know it's on the Facebook event page, but it should be also somewhere else. I don't know. Donate to it. Because there's been a lot of work that's gone into making this evening happen for you all. And it would be great to be able to monetize that effort.
Thanks, Yoni.
Yeah, hey, thank you. Folks, the reason that we're here tonight, the reason why I came out here is because I have a record that just came out today. It's the remastered edition of Country for the Timid. And I know what you're asking yourself. What is Country for the Timid? I want to take you back now. I want you to go with me. In the year is 2010. Katy Perry's climbing up the charts with California Girls. The Office is delighting audiences across the nation. Barack Obama is the president. And a hungry young man in Brooklyn, New York was cruising up and down, back and forth across the country, plying his trade, playing all manner of shows, basement shows, DIY shows, house shows, punk shows, shitty bar shows. And this young man, I know that he was out there because this young man was me, you see. Back in those days, I was plying my trade on my own brand of power pop punk rock anthems, at least my own version of punk rock. And I would go and play these shows. They were very loud. They were very raucous. And usually, before the show, there would be somebody who would get up and do an opening set. And they would perform some songs on an acoustic guitar. And I noticed that when the opener played, the audience sat with rapt attention. And then when I got up there, either with my band or with my electric guitar, I noticed that the audience would begin to talk a bit. And I said, why don't I do something quieter to try to get the audience to be a little quieter along with me? And that idea stuck in my head. Now, these shows that I was playing, like I said, they were very raucous. The songs that I was singing at the time, they were meant for sing-alongs. There were parts where you should be stomping your feet, clapping your hands, singing at the top of your voices. I considered my job back then to write the kind of song where the first time you hear the chorus, you learn it. The second time you hear the chorus, you sing along. So even if you've never heard the song, by the second chorus, you know it, you're in it. However, on the way to go and play these shows, I was not listening to this kind of music. As I was driving all across America, I found that I wanted to hear the sounds of America. And I began to listen to those sounds. I'm talking about fire and brimstone gospel. I'm talking about dusty outlaw country songs. I'm talking about folk ballads, murder ballads. I'm talking about campfire ghost story songs. Those were the kinds of songs that I was listening to. That's the kind of music that I wanted to write. So as I found myself in Brooklyn, away from my practice space, away from my guitar amp with an acoustic guitar, I set out to create an album that reflected all of that. So I'm going to play that album for you tonight. I've changed the order of the songs a little bit, but the whole thing is going to be presented for you now. I'm interested in telling the kinds of ghost stories that don't get told. The ghosts of regret. The ghosts of hard times. The ghosts of good love gone bad. That's what I'm going to be doing for you tonight. This song is called Hard to Deny. I didn't write it as a ghost. ghost story, but it's become something of that for me. Ooh, yeah, silence those phones.
Rookie move, Billy.
So I didn't mean for this to be a ghost story, this song, but it's become that. And so this one is for Adam Hout, Eric Peterson. It's hard to believe this, it's hard to digest the size of the hole that you left in our chest. Last man standing will someday have to die. It's hard to believe, but well, it's harder to deny. I remember the tour, I remember the stand, remember the space in the back of the van. Hit against the window as the world was passing by. The tattoo on your arm that read hard to deny. Hard to deny, well, it's hard to deny. You can't sit on those feelings and hope that they die. Someday down the road you're gonna break down and cry. Those feelings inside are so hard to deny. The other, we got lost in the end, like a band of brothers with nothing to defend. When we lost our captain and we lost our friend, never knew what hit us, but we tried to pretend we could begin again. When the gold that you've gathered has been scattered in the dust, windows have been shattered and the steel's turned to rust. When you can't go on, but go on you must, to make your heart as hard as stone and harder to deny. It's hard to deny, well, it's hard to deny. Every bone can be broken, every nerve can be fried. Brothers and your sisters, how you be survived? The legacy you left is so hard to deny. It's hard to deny, well, it's hard to deny. You can't sit on those feelings, hope that they die. Someday down the road you're gonna break down and cry. Those feelings inside are so hard to deny. Feelings inside are so hard to deny. Feelings inside are so hard to deny. Folks, this was supposed to be a Halloween show tonight. I don't know if you're in the New England area. It does not feel like fucking Halloween. This feels like a Christmas show now. It's a little cold. But it is Halloween tomorrow. And I want to know, have you thought about what you're going to dress up as for Halloween? You have a costume picked out? What are people going to be this year? We're going to have our assortment of Spider-Men? Sure. We're going to have our SpongeBobs? I'm sure we're going to see our Minions out there. I have a child. I'm sure that you adults are going to be sexy nurses and sexy vampires and whatever sexy things you do.
Sexy masks.
Sexy masks.
COVID masks.
COVID masks, that's right.
Not scary masks.
Do you want to see my Halloween costume? You sure? You won't be scared? Okay. I'm warning you, though. It's not for the faint of heart. I want to tell you a ghost story. For all the years that I've spent playing music, There's been so much more time spent behind the wheel of an automobile. And sometimes you go on tour with your bandmates, your friends. If you're like me, you go on tour alone. And there are those long drives. You're out there on the road, and you think, I could just disappear right now into the mist. Never to be heard or seen again, and no one would have any idea where I've gone. And it was on just one of those drives I found myself down on a dark stretch of road somewhere close to Pensacola, Florida. I was trying to find where the show was that evening. I got very, very lost. I saw more roadkill on that road than I've ever seen in my life. Everywhere I looked, there was blood and carnage. And it started to turn my stomach. Not because I was disgusted, because it was just so eerie. As though where I was could not support life. And I was getting more and more lost on these back roads. I saw a little motel up ahead. I pulled the car over, I got out. I walked up to the front desk. There's a big glass window. Lights were on. As I got closer to the front desk, I could see a bowling ball size hole smashed through that window. There was no one there working the desk. And as I got closer, I looked down. Outside all the motel rooms, lights were off. I got a little bit closer to that front desk. I saw there was a plate of food sitting there with mold growing all over it, cobwebs covering it, as though whoever was there vanished into the mist, leaving no reasons as to why he or she disappeared, where he or she had gone. Little baby carriage lying on its side, ain't no little baby lying there inside. No one says a word, no one's left to wonder why, except the last man living in a little ghost town. Last man living in a little ghost town. Last living soul around. Dinner's on the table, it's been there for a while. Couple bites are taken where the mold is growing wild. And now the mold is the only sign of life. To the last man living in a little ghost town. Last man living in a little ghost town. Last living soul around. till the well had run dry. There used to be fireworks every 4th of July. There used to be jobs. This used to be a town. Seems like even the ghosts don't wanna hang around. Little baby cares lying on the ground, and that little baby's nowhere to be found. No one says a word, though there's not a single sound, to the last man living in a little ghost town. Last man living in a little ghost town. Last living soul around. Last living soul around.
Yeah. Ooh. Take a deep breath because this might take me a second.
Cold.
It is. I need to take my shoes off. So it couldn't hear me walking around.
So, I wrote a little song here for a film that my dad was writing back at the time. I'm not the only writer in the Gordon family. My dad is a writer of film and television, and he was working on a picture at the time. It was a picture with spiritual and religious undertones, shall we say. And he likes to throw me a bone, you know, if he's working on a thing. He'll you know, try to rope me into it, you know, and say, you know, you got anything? I'm working on this picture. It's so it's like Die Hard. It's like a Die Hard movie, but it takes place in New Orleans. You have anything like it's Die Hard, but it's in a shopping mall in New Orleans? You have anything for a Die Hard movie, shopping mall, New Orleans? It's been flooded with water. People, the terrorists have taken this shopping mall over in New Orleans. You have anything like that? But the cop is a woman. She's a woman. Instead of Bruce Willis, it's a woman. It's in New Orleans. It's a flooded shopping mall. And the cop is also, she dates other women. She's a lesbian. Do you have anything like that? You have a song that fits that bill? I say, well, I'll narrow it down. This is one for something, for a film that he had written. Let's hope I can play it.
Oh, there it is again.
It's cold.
Is it cold? Maybe
This
just
baby
rip-
needs a
just-
little
Yeah, rip the cord for
warming
a
up.
second. Work itself out.
There we go.
We're not kidding, folks. It is really cold in this barn tonight.
Have you heard the words of the Bible? Can you sing the hymns and the praise? Do you know the truth? Have you seen the proof that Jesus is on his way? It's hard to fight for survival. See you struggle every day. But it's time to rejoice and to raise up your voice and say Jesus is on his way. Oh, how the church bell chimes. Speak out your sins and your crimes. Jesus is on his way. May he wash out your sins away. If you're on the road to salvation, but you got lost on the way, you'll climb on board and praise the Lord, because Jesus is on his way. If you own the rights to your sorrow, but you want to option them away, a big Hollywood film where it's time to rejoice and to raise up your voice and say Jesus is on. Know he is coming. Jesus is on. Know he is coming. Jesus is on his way. Amen. That was pretty good. I got it done. You did it. The organ did it. The organ did it, despite the cold. Ooh. Ooh. Let me turn this up real quickly. Now, I'm checking the phone boards now. We're seeing, has anybody called in to book their wedding yet?
No, and no one's told us about their costumes either.
No one's told us about their costumes. No one has called in. All right, but I'm getting news now. Okay, all right. I'm hearing now 3 couples. They've moved in recently. They're on the verge of taking it to the next level. I'm gonna say, right now, this is a special offer. Dollar for dollar, we are matching that. So if you 3 couples end up getting engaged and one person's proposing, I will also propose to somebody. All right?
Oh,
It's a
really?
very limited time, but I will get engaged tonight too. All right? So you're
I'm
only gonna
taking
get
it,
this
okay?
year. I need these things.
that cover, man.
It's time for another road trip now. I want you to join me in the car. This is not one of those road trips where you have curated the perfect Spotify playlist and you've programmed the GPS and you have the bag of snacks next to you. No, this is one of those road trips that takes place in the dead of night. When there's something that is calling you, it is calling you out of your home, it is dragging you into the streets, and it is telling you it is time to get in that car, and it is time not to head towards something, but to get away from something. And here we are, all the way in Maine, almost as far to the east of the country as you can get. And there's not that much road out there until you hit that ocean. So my friends, tonight we need to head west. That's right. We need to get in that car and we need to drive. And I'm not talking about one of those road trips that just takes us 45 minutes outside of city limits and then we end up in the suburbs somewhere. No. I'm talking about one of those road trips where you drive for hours and hours on end and you let your mind wander. I'm talking about one of those road trips where you drive and you drive and you drive until you see that sun go up and that sun come down, the sun goes up, the sun comes down, until finally all of the street lights melt away and it's just starlight now, lighting up that 2-lane stretch of road in front of you. I'm talking about one of those road trips where you have left behind everything that you know about your old life and you're heading towards something new, something different. But there's always something eating away at you on the inside that you cannot let go of. And I'm talking about one of those road trips where you drive and you drive and you drive until finally you find yourself in that mystical place where somewhere now in the southwest, you've driven for hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, and you can no longer drive any further. And there up ahead on the left is a little roadside diner. A sign that says open. Looks just like Twin Peaks. And you pull the car off. You hear the gravel underneath your wheels. And you step out and you walk towards that little roadside diner. And you open the door. And although it looked tiny on the outside, inside, it's a fucking palace. There's a little bar off to the side. You got strings of lights hanging down. There's long picnic tables, people laughing, dancing because there's a band on the stage. And not only a band, but I'm talking about the band, the best band that no one's ever heard of. And they're playing all of the hits tonight. They're playing rockabilly music. They're playing Tex-Mex music. They're playing slow dances. And I'm not talking about bump and grind, although there's nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. No, I'm talking about slow dances. And there's food there too. And it's the best food you've ever smelled in your life. And they got a plate over there. They got some baked bean barbecue thing happening. And you're keeping a pescatarian diet, but it smells so good that you gotta allow yourself a cheat day here and there. You go over, you get yourself a plate, and you sit down at one of those long picnic tables. But you can't eat. No. Because you have something on your mind. You have someone on your mind. You have the one on your mind. And I know you know that one. That one who you keep on your Instagram friend list even though you don't talk anymore. The one who left a bracelet and you keep it in your dresser drawer. Sometimes at night you take it out, you look at it, you remember the good times. I'm talking about that one who got away. And right about that time, and you're ready to push that plate of big bean barbecue bullshit out from under your nose, get back in the car, and drive another 2 days until you hit the coast. Right about that time, the band on that stage begins to play. Dance hall was crowded as the band starts to play. Everybody was laughing, trying to get laid. You sat in the corner, and I could see on your face you were in your own head with the one who got away. Everybody was moving, and the music was great. You were busy pushing the food around on your plate. Then the lights grew dimmer, room started to sway. You mumbled something about looking for the one who got away. You can look back in time at the events that have taken place. You can try to unwind the look you left on her face. If you step out of line, you will end up losing your place. Then the music got louder, the rain started to fall, and nobody cared much. Fluttered into the hall. We all danced in a puddle of paper mache, and the crowd went wild as the band began to play. Now the nights come crashing down onto the floor. They were shoving and pushing. Made my way to the door. We went same direction. You headed the other way. Disappeared into the night, looking for the one who got away. Everybody's got someone who's got away. It's true. Disappeared into the night as the coyotes started to play. That was all right.
Sure was.
That was pretty good.
We didn't discuss if I'm supposed to be breaking the fourth wall here or not, but I'm just doing it.
Sure. I might need to blow my nose. Excuse me. Turn my back for that.
You're doing.
What's the temperature outside? Where are we at right now?
That's a good question.
30 degrees Fahrenheit.
30 degrees Fahrenheit.
I call bullshit on that. It's way colder. For me, that's just because I'm not wearing shoes and because I don't want it to.
Yeah, you got your little twinkle toes sticking out.
So the low is going to be 17 tonight.
Okay. Okay.
I averted the camera's eyes to the ceiling for a minute. I was hoping I can get the moon through the windows, but I realized that wasn't happening, so here we are.
No need for any introduction. You know who I am. You know where I just come from. You heard about my plan. I drove many long miles just to stand where I stand. Now there's no need for talking. You ain't a witness on the stand. I drove west across Texas with a promise on the line. I'm not in it for the money, all that's paid off in time. And I made it to Odessa in less than one day. I've no need for secrets, if you ask me I will say. This ain't a country for the timid. This ain't a place for old men. And it don't go only for the wicked. Everybody's got something coming to them. I put the tools of my trade into the palm of my hand. I put a coin in the air, now we'll see how it lands. And you can call it heads or tails, and you leave it to chance. Shot rings out in the air, now you know where I stand. You lost all your loved ones, you buried them today. Spend the rest of your life to see the next bill get paid. Well, if it doesn't happen now, it'll happen someday. 'Cause you can't stop what's coming, it's already on its way. This ain't a country for the timid. This ain't a place for old men. And it don't go only for the wicked. Everybody's got something going on. My name's been erased. There's nothing but conviction in my voice and on my face. And the air will go so still, and the tension you can taste make my presence felt and disappear without a trace. Woo! Yeah. Alright. This was a tricky song to write. I wanted to write a song about schools and working in schools. Back in 2010, I worked in 2 public schools in Brooklyn, and I wanted to write about what that was like. There are so many people I know, some of whom I believe are watching tonight, who are teachers, who are educators, and my God, these are the smartest people that I know, the toughest people I know. Their jobs are incredibly difficult, and not only are they incredibly difficult, but they're doing it within a structure, a system that doesn't always support them and doesn't always have their best interest at heart. I've not worked in every school district, every school system throughout the country, but I can tell you the New York public school system is large, it's unwieldy, it's chaotic, and I think that the people who go in there day in and day out, work in those classrooms, I think they deserve better. I think they deserve to be treated better than they do. And this song is about a particular practice that I heard about, where when teachers are removed from classrooms, instead of just being fired, let go, because union rules are pretty strict, they are put in what's called rubber rooms, waiting endlessly, sometimes years on end. I don't know if that's true, but waiting long periods of time without really ever quite understanding what they're doing there, what they've done wrong. And it seems to me like it's an example of putting protocol over the person, which is not something that I can abide by. This is a song, I don't know if I exactly get everything right, but I tried my best to tell a little story here. I was given an address, I was given a time, waiting my verdict to waiting the crime. Brought me here in April, it's closing in on June. Spent my first season in the rubber room. Son of a teacher, and I followed suit. Moved to the city and gave up on my youth. First day on the job, PS 252. Nothing but chaos when I stepped in the room. Danny walked the basements and I walked the floors. You think you knew something, but he knew some more. He said, some folks look at me, see nothing but the broom. Don't take your secrets into the rubber room. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. Nobody's talking, man. Nobody dares. Well, the days grew short and the nights went black. The end of the line on the Rockaway track. See lives, some people slip right through the cracks. You can one stop too many and you can never go back. Danny would find me at the end of each day, till the floors have been swept and the trash thrown away. He said, I don't mind the work as long as I get paid. I keep my mouth shut until there's something to say. He said, there's some things that I've seen, man, you just wouldn't believe. These kids are just the symptoms, but they're treated like the disease. And I've written down the details of every mess I've had to clean. Bullet holes that grace the walls, windows shattered in the glass, blood that spilled out on the steps, while the other children laughed as the teachers shrugged their shoulders and returned to watching clocks. 'Cause you don't have to do nothing if it don't happen on your watch. Late in the evening after all had gone home, there was one child left afraid to walk home alone. We waited on the steps for his folks to arrive, and when nobody showed up, I gave him a ride. The next day I walked to the shadow of doubt, with the incident report already filled out, and the truth being ripped up and twisted about. Danny providing the eyewitness account. Now we live in a world that nobody sees, common sense lost in bureaucracy. Brought me here in April, so closing in on June. Spent my first season in the rubber room. I'm gonna take that last verse again because it's the most important part. Now I live in a world nobody sees, common sense lost in bureaucracy. Brought me here in April, it's closing in on June. Spent my first season in the rubber room. Nobody's listening, nobody cares, nobody's talking, man, nobody dares. Yeah. You just shake these things. Drag through the streets, middle of the day. Little baby, let your engine idle, 'cause you know it's gonna take a little while. At the rate we're going, we got no way of knowing what lies ahead of the road. Another mile. Day in court arrives, with my lawyers standing at my side. The judge will preside, and the jury will rise, with the witness there won't be much that I can do. And for the guilt that was found, a 6-year sentence handed down. Well, baby, let your engine idle, 'cause you know it's gonna take a little while. At the rate we're going, we got no way of knowing what lies ahead of the road another mile. Oh, baby, let your engine idle. I'm going through on the fire out of fear that you lose your desire for me. I need to know you're alive and you're waiting outside in the van for me. Down the line, and can you love me all the time? One of these days, one of these days, one of these days, one of these days. Said one of these days. Be so hard. One of these days, and it won't always be this hard. One of these days, and it won't always be this hard. One of these days, when the garden starts to grow. One of these days, and the kids come back home. Oh, one of these days, and the car's got a full tank of gas. Oh, one of these days, and you don't even need to ask. Oh, one of these days, and I fill my lungs with air. Oh, one of these days, and everyone I know is there. One of these days, and there'll be no time for sorrow. One of these days, and there'll be no time for fear. Oh, one of these days, and there'll be no time for sorrow. Oh, one of these days, and you know the end is not near. Oh, one of these days, but it might come tomorrow. Oh, one of these days, baby, let your engine idle, 'cause you know it's gonna take a little while. At the rate we're going, we got no way of knowing what lies ahead of the road another mile. Whoa, whoa, baby, let your engine out, 'cause you know it's gonna take a little while. At the rate we're going, we got no way of knowing what lies ahead of the road another mile. Whoa, whoa, baby, let your engine. Folks, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. If you haven't already donated, put some money in that virtual tip jar. We're running lights, we're running sound, we're running cameras. It all costs money. I would love to be able to put some money in the pocket of Maple Rock Farms. And if you haven't, go and download this album. What are you doing? It's on Bandcamp now. Pay me some money.
More important. Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, Yoni. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you. All right. Let's do one more here. Laid in the grass where leaves did hide me, and the hours they passed, and no one could find me. Down to the earth fell the chains that bind me. My soul did raise, left my body behind me, but I was brought back down by the hound's bait. My time will come, but it won't be today. When I awoke, my head was still spinning, and the words that were spoke in my ears were ringing. Sticks in my throat, even now as I'm singing. You can't lose your hope in the land of the living. No heavenly choirs, no hell to pay. Our time will come, but it won't be today. Yes, my time will come, but it won't be today. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween. I'll see you.